Flushfest.
And we're back.
We're back. We're hammered back.
Special guest this week. We've got Nick Glasnap, a.k.a. Nicky Buckets, Nicky Fairways, Nicky Sticky. We've got a lot of Nicky nicknames.
You can put anything after Nicky.
Flushfest.
Welcome, brother.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for the invite, guys.
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah, it's so good to be here. I'm honored.
So, Nick, tell us one fun fact about you.
There's so many.
You know what?
I'll tell a fun fact about Nicky.
This is a PG show.
No,
Nicky. So we'll start up. Nicky is one of our golf character buddies at Royal Oaks. I look forward to being with you every time because my face hurts because I smile so much. But one of my favorite stories about you is that you were a Division I wide receiver.
Division II, but I was also a Southwest executive too.
But you're an athlete.
Look, don't interrupt Barrett with the facts.
Yeah,
Don't correct me with the
Yeah.
facts. But you were a wide receiver at where?
Northwest Missouri State.
And where is that?
It's in Maryville, Missouri.
It's in Northwest Missouri,
Yeah,
Barrett.
it's about
You never know.
it's about 20 miles from the Iowa border.
You never know.
But fun fact.
Well, here he is. And we've played golf, the six of us, really, a lot. And you're the first guest on the pod.
How's that feel?
Speechless.
Yeah.
I really am.
Well, that's not great for an audio medium.
We'll get going. You don't worry about that.
So, for those of y'all, this is actually good timing. Having Nicky on today because today the Abaco video we talked about last time dropped on YouTube. I think Evan just published it.
Just live. Yep.
So, it's good to have Nicky on today. If you watch today, if you watch there, then you'll see Nick.
And Nick's got a lot of nicknames, and we can go through all of them. But that day, you were Nicky Putts.
That putter felt real good.
Real nice.
You know what? I hit a lot of terrible shots, but the putter felt good.
But do you remember, I think we were joking last week, they were rental clubs, right? And you
I
pulled
hated
out,
that putter.
I think you had a left-hand putter out of the bag.
It might have been.
And you were like,
yeah.
I can't do this.
No.
Well, they were rusted.
They were,
Yeah.
I had a hole in my driver, but
Been there.
Which you would expect better. I mean, Abaco Club's a place with $5-10 million
nice spot.
homes. We
Yeah.
just assume these are going to be brand new rental clubs, not 20-year-old
I've
rusted.
been sitting by the beach.
You know what? We did pretty well.
We did.
We did pretty well.
We
But
played
thanks
good.
to
If you
Nicky
haven't
Putts.
Watch the video. Yeah.
Well, and anybody who's ever played in a scramble knows you can all hit decent shots, but if you don't make putts, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to drain the putts.
Well,
Well,
there's
and-
some great moments. I think the funniest moment of the whole video, because I watched it today after I posted it, and was your tee shot where you say, I'm going to give this little 3-finger 7 or whatever, and then just absolutely top the ball.
I didn't even think it went like 3 yards.
I wish we would have had the one thing that's missing on this video. If you go watch the video, and we apologize, there's no shot tracers. This is the first
that
one.
would've
Give
been
us a
amazing.
break. Yeah, but I wish we would have had shot tracer on that video because it would have been the funniest.
Dribble.
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what is a 3-finger 7?
One time I'm just listening to NBC.
They
or
said it this
CBS.
week.
Maybe-
They said it this weekend
yeah,
at the
maybe
Players.
I heard that.
One of the guys said,
Yeah.
give it a 3-finger wedge. I was like,
which-
that's the call.
Which hand is it?
It's a great question, Cub. I
think it's
have
the-
no idea.
These.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
just
middle.
a- it's a
just
lighter
light little
7-iron.
7.
3-finger.
Be
That's going to
careful doing
stick.
those
Yeah.
motions, PG show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the 2-finger shooter. Just
Oh, God.
Nobody
sorry,
does
we're not-
the
No,
shooter.
okay.
But
No shooter.
Okay,
There were a bunch of shooters in our Friday round.
it was a great round.
It was for you,
Yeah.
all those pops.
Get that new putter going.
Ooh, we got that
yeah.
putter
The
going.
new Wyndham Ricky.
Wyndham
what's
Ricky,
it called? What's the name of it?
The old jailbird.
Yeah.
The Jailbird.
You're
Now-
not
now-
anchoring that thing, are you?
No, he's
No,
not using it
no,
correctly.
no,
He's
no.
holding the putter
Nicky
out.
rules
It
over
was
here.
one time, Michael.
But if you're going to buy the putter, you got to use it correctly.
I am using it correctly now.
Yeah.
DJ can attest.
The one picture I saw.
Well,
it
I mean,
looked
I
like
made
you were
a
about to hit
120-foot putt on carpet
the putt.
with it, but you know that. But yeah, Cubs' new putter performs annoyingly. Speaking of Wyndham putter, that was the lip out heard round the world. I assume you all saw
Oh
it.
man, that was.
I felt
wild.
genuinely
Yeah.
awful for him.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. Just a few comments he's made recently that just didn't sit right with me.
What did he say?
What's
Well, you know, he talked about the top 100 players in the world. He wanted just the top 100 to play. Like very small tours. Like the best of the best.
He wanted to shrink the size.
He wanted to shrink the size.
The Super League.
I didn't necessarily agree with that.
And you know
either.
what? It's like a bit tone deaf for me because. Was it about 12 months ago? Was he even ranked in the top 100?
No.
He was a journeyman PGA guy.
That's a good point.
Just,
5 years.
hey, know where you came from. Know your audience.
But isn't the Super League kind of what the merger is supposed to be?
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But when is that going to happen?
Well,
Like they merged.
We're filming it today, which is Tuesday after the Players. And apparently, Tiger and His Excellency, Yasir Al-Rumayyan.
The
By
Sultan.
the way, the fact that his title really is His Excellency is just incredible.
I'd like
Did he
that to
make-
be.
You can't say that without
Did he
smiling.
make that up? Who makes that title up?
I think the king.
They made it up
declares
long
His
ago.
Excellency. He's
Well,
the
yeah, but
gut-
is it like Game of Thrones
So
where
he-
it's
Can
like
I
change
everybody's
my
your
name?
grace and all
I
that?
can't wait.
No,
I
all
can't
the
wait.
guys on Live, like when they post social media, it literally will say H.E. Yasir, like His Excellency. Like
Wow.
you have to title him.
So
I'm
fun
going to
fact,
change my email signature.
I was just
tomorrow.
thinking that.
So,
Is it like NBA? Let's be honest.
So we got
you know?
so we got sidetracked. So Tiger and Yasir are down in the Bahamas today, playing and talking about the merger.
Where do they play?
Abaco?
At Tiger's
They do a
course,
5-minute
where they
scramble
play
and
the
work-
Hero.
Albany?
Yeah, Albany.
Yeah.
But apparently
Does everything
they're
just
working
run
on a
through
deal.
Tiger these days? Is that the way it works?
Well, it ain't going to go through Jay Monahan.
well, it's not going through Rory either because
Golly. I mean, I felt.
he's on the struggle bus.
Did y'all watch all those Full Swing, the second season?
Oh yeah, I've already watched it twice.
I felt bad for him,
Yes.
too.
Yeah, I've ran through it twice.
I mean, it was not it felt,
Hashtag
Do
bored.
you feel bad for him?
A lot of travel.
Well, on one hand, he kind of got hosed. On the other hand, it's like, hey man, what do you need to get involved in this for?
If he really-
Oh, the whole live. I got it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
If,
so
if
that
I
makes
was
sense.
Rory, I'd be so pissed at Jay Monahan if he didn't know that was coming. If that was really a surprise, because you never really know if he got a text or anything. But if that was really a surprise and he
legit.
found out when everybody else did, and see that day when they announced it on CNBC, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh my
here's the
god!
thing.
Can you imagine?
Here's the thing about the timing.
It made him look really stupid.
Yasir and Monahan and all those guys apparently met the week before the Masters last
His
year. right?
Excellency?
The
His
Excellency.
Excellency.
Yeah, his
Say it right,
Excellency.
or he's gonna show
Rory,
up.
Yeah.
do y'all not
We're gonna
remember?
get canceled.
Rory showed up at the Masters and said, "I'm not talking about Live," and then he played practice rounds with the Live guys, like a 180 overnight.
Yeah.
So the idea that Rory didn't know,
It was
I
funny.
don't believe it.
Somebody
Yeah.
reminded me of this today. When Liv got started, Trump, I don't know how you feel about Trump, it doesn't matter, but he tweeted out that whoever doesn't take the Liv money now is going to be pissed when the merger happens. And this was like a year and a
Yeah,
half before
yeah.
the merger. And sure enough, it happened.
He's like The Simpsons, just predicts everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bellwether, on some things. Anyway, yeah, His Excellency and Tigre. But I did feel bad for Wyndham Clark because that lip out, brother, I've been there.
That ball
I've
was-
lipped
that
out a
ball was
bunch
at
of
least
3-footers.
halfway.
So
Halfway
one
down.
of my employees came in today and he goes, "Man, did you see that that putt that Wyndham missed? It just like I felt like me." And I go, "You missed a 17-foot lip out usually?" He
For
goes,
$4 million.
and he goes,
Cool,
he goes,
4.5.
Well, no, it's usually like 3 feet, but it kind of felt the same to me. And I was like, I kind of got it though, because like 17 feet to win it for like $4.5 million or whatever, or, to go to the playoff. I was like, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, it could be worse. You could leave a 4-footer short to win the Friday Cup at Karsten Creek.
been there.
We can't talk about
No, I have.
But talking about Wyndham and Scotty, that's back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Where Scotty won.
Never
and
been
he
done
came-
before.
First time ever, but Wyndham came in second. And so we were talking about this earlier. Do you really feel bad for a guy that just made $4 million in a 8 or 10-day span? But he did get back-to-back second places. But, I mean, it's still crazy money what they're making now.
I would like
No,
You ain't
I don't
first,
feel
you
bad for
last.
him one bit.
I would like a guy to come out and just once when they go, "How are you feeling? You finished second," and just to go, "I just made $2 million. I'm feeling great."
Well, what's the old when Kevin Kisner said they pay a lot of money for 20th place
Yeah.
out here?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to respect it, right?
Come
I
on,
mean,
man.
I mean, he also lost to the number one player. It's not like he lost to some
And you know what?
Nobody.
The
Yeah.
number
This is-
one player who learned how to putt. All of a
Happy
sudden.
learned how to
Happy,
putt.
Happy.
Yeah.
Now you're all in big trouble.
Scotty is a machine right now.
And you know what? To his credit, I played today. He won. What is today? Tuesday.
Yeah, today's Tuesday.
He
2
won
days later.
2 days later, and he's on the range grinding.
Well, I told
Randy.
somebody.
I mean, he's after it.
I told somebody this weekend because we were one of the kids in Jack's tournament was talking about his favorite player was Scotty. He's like, oh yeah, we see him a lot, and I was like, what's wild is that he was having his putting struggles, and 2 weeks ago, we were on the putting green, and he was there. Kenyon was there, and he was trying out his new putters and the one he's got. And the last putt he hit, I was standing here putting this way, and he was right behind me, and he was doing one of those long putts across the practice green back towards Randy's shed. And he just drained the putt, and it was a massive putt. And I was just like, well, I think that'll work. Whatever putt that is, that's going to work. And then
That's gotta be
enough,
chapstick.
and like literally the next week, he his putting turned around, and then this, players he won. It's wild.
Have you seen him putt to the chapstick yet? No. So on the you're not. Come on, guys. You guys are Scotty followers. You're not keeping up with this. So before the players round, he's on the
Nicky knowledge.
Yeah. Well, I got to bring something to this podcast.
Nicky chapstick.
So I'm a big chapstick guy, but no. So he like throws a chapstick out like somewhere on the green, and he putts to it, and not like to the hole. And he that's how he's learning pace and speed. And so he was doing it at the players. That's why I'm surprised you guys didn't see it.
Smaller. I didn't see it.
See that.
Yeah.
So
Everybody on tour next week to be throwing chapstick all over the
have
place.
you ever have y'all seen there's like an internet meme? You know in Happy Gilmore when Shooter McGavin after Happy wins a few tournaments, he's out in the woods. doing the Happy.
Yeah.
And somebody posted a meme and it's like after Scotty, and they show Scotty doing the crazy footwork, and they're like every PGA pro this weekend
Try to swing out their shoes.
They're all proving the foot thing. I mean, I don't know how he hits the center of the face every time.
So BJ and I tried to do that on the range. This was like months ago. I literally almost rolled my ankle. It hurt so bad. I tried to act like I was bowling when I
jump.
It's jumping.
Jumps at it.
Yeah, I just like.
but the
Well, you
back-
kind of
the
jump
back-
a little bit.
I do.
It
Jack
is
Jack
bowling.
really does it.
He
And
jumps
his left ankle is like sideways when he kicks.
Oh,
down.
really?
So, yeah, and I'm like, dude, you've got to keep
It
your foot. And he
hurts.
can't keep his feet still.
By the way, the bowling
wildest
thing is
thing.
true because his right leg swoops.
He's
behind.
bowling.
It is
Yeah.
kind of a bowling.
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah.
Who am I?
never thought about
it.
What is
Hey.
your line? What's the bowling line?
From
You know who I am. What's my name? Who am I?
Who am I? real fast.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Okay, let's go back to the Scotty putter real fast. Can we go around the table? Mallet or not?
Or blade?
Blade.
Mallet for me now.
Nicky.
I'm a blade guy.
A mallet now.
Mallet.
Blade.
I have a
Wide blade.
wide blade. It's not really. It looks like a blade, but really, it's.
I think we can all
blade is
agree though.
big.
Mallet's the play. You guys just need to kind of get on board.
What was it? They showed that graphic today. It was 9 of the top 10 players in the world all use mallets right now.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
not mallets, or just big putters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tiger was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
pretty
that was
good.
old technology. It was different. It was different back then.
Tiger,
He did
pretty good.
okay.
Tiger also
Probably
hit,
Tiger was
hit all,
different.
all Tiger's irons were like butter knives also.
yeah.
And now they've
That
got
comp is kind of expired. It's a little old.
But it is kind of crazy because right now, Scotty, if you look at like strokes gained and all that stuff, he's comparable the last few months to prime Tiger. The difference was Tiger did it for 15 straight years.
Yeah.
Scotty's
Yeah.
doing it for a little while.
We're waiting to see it. Yeah.
But if Scotty keeps this up,
Hey, Tiger never won two
it's
players back to back.
comparable. I mean, like the play, everything he's doing, it's just.
Well, think
Keep
about it.
dominating.
So when did Tiger when did the end of the era of Tiger? Like what?
Like when he
years?
retired.
08.
I would say 08, 09. Yeah.
But like how old was he? Probably like.
Oh, God, no.
When is that
35,
car?
30
34,
something.
35.
So Scotty's probably what 27.
Yeah, 26, 27, right?
Yeah. Well, he was.
The brother, he's got a long time.
he's got a
I mean,
lot.
he is in his.
It was-
not even at his prime yet.
Yeah.
Let's be
Long
honest.
time.
Scotty's not putting himself through Navy SEAL training.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
he does.
if you like read Tiger, he had such respect for his father
Yeah.
that he went through
Well,
that stuff.
Scotty does do the Golf Forever program, which MT bought and didn't tell us about.
I have one of those too.
You do not.
MT.
What?
But
You have one too?
See,
But it
I'm
doesn't-
glad Nick's
but-
here.
Wait, do you have the whole? You have the whole station?
No, you
like
don't.
the whole
the
thing.
golf forever? You mean the rotating
just the
band?
rotating bands.
You know, but I will tell you, my ball doesn't go as far as MT's.
Well, but they put one right by the golf shop at
Oh, yeah,
Royal
Lowe's,
Oaks
yeah.
in the open. You know, you can see it. And I go, nobody ever uses that. And MT goes, well, I bought one. I have it at my house.
He's had it for like 3 months.
I said, why would you buy that if they have it? It's right here at the club. He goes, dude, I'm not doing that in front of everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either right there.
You have the full
Stand out in front
machine.
of the pro
Oh,
shop and do my free warm up workout.
MT.
No.
You
I
have the
do
full
it.
So,
machine.
Nicky,
Yeah.
do you have it at your
You
house?
just-
it's in my garage. I will say I need to use it a little bit more.
With the ropes and the
So
bands.
is this a little
You'd
bit of
actually
Nicky
like it.
confessions?
Yeah, well, you know me, Cub. I'm pretty open and honest guy.
You are
You're
an
going
open book.
from it's the whole what they talked about with Scotty this weekend. He's building himself for flexibility and mobility and not necessarily going for muscle.
Right. That's what I'm
Well,
doing
and I think
too.
that's
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah, I think we're all in that.
Yeah,
boat.
yeah,
Well, they
for
figured
sure.
out
Yeah.
Tiger used to be like doing deadlifts, but 350 pounds, and then
Navy SEAL
he's
stuff.
doing hang
Yeah.
cleans.
Yeah.
And he's
Unnecessary.
he's lifting logs. and I'm like,
Deadlifts
bro,
might be
what are you
the
doing?
dumbest workout there is.
Well,
That's-
I think
that's a-
a couple car wrecks and a couple,
Yeah, it's funny what that does to you.
2 irons to the shin probably will also hurt your career.
Well,
Yeah.
But you know,
Tiger might be one of the biggest what ifs of all time, right? Like if he hadn't.
but maybe
If
but
he hadn't gotten work,
I think
if
it's got to be
if he
the
hadn't,
biggest
you
what
know,
if.
Yeah.
Right?
visited every
but
Perkins
like
in the
but
South
like
and,
but like
Hadn't gone to
Thunder
Waffle
said,
House that night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but like Thunder said, if Scotty keeps it up, and by the way, he was we when we played today, we had a guest out, and I was telling MT about this, and we come down 16, which at Royal Oaks is right by the range, and Scotty's there grinding, and Randy's there, and my buddy finally hits a shot that goes where he wanted it to. It goes on the green, and he's all excited. I go, "Hey man, you picked a good time to do this, right in front of the #1 player in the world." And he's like, "Oh my." He goes, "Is he over there?" And I go, "Yeah, he's
She's still in the house?
and he's like, "Do you think he saw it?" And I go, "No,
No.
You could have."
Doesn't
I
care.
said, "You could have gotten a hole in one and done cartwheels down the fairway," and he would have been like,
Yeah.
"Shut up! Like, I'm trying to get
Practicing
ready.
over here, yeah.
Doesn't matter." But when you get used to seeing, well, Scotty, but probably there's other guys who come out to Royal Oaks and play around.
Yeah.
Ryan Palmer.
Palmer and
Oh, isn't Tom Kim now? Isn't
No, there's a
Randy
lot of-
coaching him
well,
now?
Well, and that's the
thought
fun
so.
part,
seen him.
'cause Randy's there, so you get all these other pros. So this is my last little Scotty story because we're talking about him. He's kind of like bell of the ball right now. One time I was on the practice chipping green. This was like in the early morning, and I kind of chipping, and Randy and Scotty, and they come down with their bags, and like they set up, and you know how it's kind of awkward, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well, if he's gonna chip, like I probably need to move, right?
I would just- yeah, I would
so
just
like I
move.
kind of get out of the way, and I kind of moved over to the side.
I just get out of the way.
Well, he drops like 7 or 8 balls, and Randy's pointing to pins 20 feet away, and I mean on the green. And Scotty pulls out his wedge, and I'm talking nippers, 20, 30-yard nippers off the green, and he's not taking a divot. And Randy was like, "Yeah, we're just like, yeah, good contact, good contact." I'm going, that is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
Cub,
how
what kind
good
of
those
divot do you
guys
think
are.
you're putting in on that?
he doesn't chip. He does.
We would have putted that one.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah, on the green.
If the bunker was in the way, we would just kind of skirt around it, ride the lip, and just kind of get around.
I will say,
it.
Cub, as a first-time guest, I'm sure you talked about this, but you're putting from off the green like 30, 40 yards is actually something.
How is
it's very
the new,
impressive.
how is the new
It's
Cub wedge?
extra annoying.
How is the new Cub wedge?
That is why
Oh,
we
yeah,
call
yeah.
it. We
With
do
the-
call it a cub wedge.
cub wedge.
Yeah, so
It's
how
not
is
a
it-
wedge.
That
how
is
is it with
your
the
specialty.
Yeah,
So we're working on it. It's good. It's definitely an adjustment. MT took a photo the other day of me practicing before we teed off. That was 50% embarrassing, 50%.
Well, you
That's
were
me.
You were on the putting green next to the
swing
first
your swing.
tee,
That's
Cub.
what I mean.
practicing Texas wedges
Because I
off the
know
green.
I'm going to do it on the course.
But you're in front of the pro shop and all the members. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a bold play.
It is a bold play. But
Well-
I had a new toy.
Well, on 18 the other day, Matt could put a picture up of this on the video, but it was Cub and our buddy Roush. They always play together. And Cub has a birdie to push the hole on 18. and Roush is down on all fours,
Little Camille style.
golden retriever, and he's going, I've got it left edge. What do you think? And Cub goes, I don't know. And he goes, dude, it's left edge. And then he's down. He looks like a dog behind you. Cub buried it, to his credit. But
No, I missed it.
No, you made that
you
one.
made the putt, dopey.
Oh, it was the eagle putt before that. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you left,
yeah,
you
you just
left
wanted to
Sorry, yeah,
Net
the eagle
eagle.
attempt.
Net eagle.
off the green. You left that.
Net
Oh, it
eagle.
was 2 yards. Oh, speaking of which, we tried to hammer you guys, and Colin said that I was not on the green. I get up there, I'm 1 yard off the green on
Well,
the
there you
collar.
go. You're not on the green.
Technically
It was
speaking,
extra
he's
annoying.
right.
Yeah, technically
Right.
speaking,
Okay, you didn't lie.
the guy that was not in the money game was the one that told me that you were 4 feet off the green. So
Gosh.
Well, and you know, this since Nicky's here, we could bring it up. Cub and our other buddy Roush, who we'll have on at some point,
We have to have him on.
they play every single week, and we've nicknamed
Just
it
one
the-
time?
Golly, it's just it's become obnoxious. But very few people have gotten as annoyed about it as you have. And
we go, yeah.
Roush isn't here. You can't hurt his feelings. He probably doesn't even listen. But it does get a little bit contentious.
It does. I will say, as a former D2 athlete, I heard a lot of S talking throughout my years, and it never really got to me, and it usually fired me up. But
This does.
it does, and
It's because it's so bad.
It's bad.
so bad.
It's so
but,
bad.
But then I'm honest, and I tell you, so you just keep at it, and it
Well, we
gets
know
even
it works.
worse. Yeah,
We
I
know it works
You
now.
know,
Well,
Yeah.
give us. Someone could give it. Colin, give us an example of what. It's the same routine every tee box.
Colin just
You
put him on
guys,
the spot.
you guys want
Oh,
side
well,
of fries with that?
yeah,
You
so
want the-
Well,
the first, so me and let's say E Money are teeing off. We're playing against Harris and Roush or Cub and Roush, and let's just say for whatever reason, 1 out of a million, I just totally duck hook it to the creek, and all of a sudden you hear behind me, hammer, hammer. No one else has teed off yet, and then all of a sudden, Evan probably pipes it 320 down the middle. And then, Cub looks at Roush and goes, so do you want the stinky cheese on the number 3? Or do you want or do you want the kids meal with the extra milkshake?
You want a toy in that kid's
it
meal?
really is the worst.
Oh,
BS.
give him the
It's
12 count
terrible.
with extra
It's terrible,
sauce,
but it
Ponzi.
works. The best bit is when the opponents you're playing hit really bad shots, and then you ask your partner very
we hammer?
loudly, should we hammer now or later?
Well, it's only on
so they
holes that you
know.
get pops on. But
Well,
yeah,
most of the time,
it
yeah.
does get. I remember we played with it was me and Cub and Roush, so the Happy Meal boys that we call them, versus me and a guy Ryan Osborne, sweetest guy in the world, but he'd never played with them last week, and the same thing happens, right? And we get on the tee box and Roush turns to Cub and goes, Podsy, should we give him the number 12 or the number 14 count? And Oz looks at me and he goes, what?
What are they talking about?
What? And
Yeah.
he goes, hey, Oz, you want the special sauce with that? And Osborne goes, okay.
You want that
I get-
animal style?
No idea what they're talking about.
You know what we need to do? We need to have viewers or Hammerback customers, and we do a challenge. Have them come out and play the Happy Meal Bowl.
Oh,
They don't want
baby.
to smoke.
And if they can
God.
beat y'all, we'll give them like a $500 gift card.
Straight up with pops,
I'll
of
give
course.
them
Yeah, you
10
gotta play
Happy
Pop.
Meals. Yeah, it's great.
Now, what's going to be funny is when you guys think you're getting pops and we put a couple 15s against you, and you got to give them 10. See how you guys handle it.
They don't want this smoke.
You know what I thought about today when we were on 16 and Scotty was practicing? Tour players don't have a handicap.
No.
They don't have
Don't
have
they
a
just
gym.
play to like a +5? Like
But how
general
who
or something?
determines
I
that?
don't know.
Right? Like when Scotty goes out and plays with his guys on Fridays,
They say
they must
+5.
just say you're a +5. But
Yeah.
that's highway robbery.
Oh, he's like a plus 15.
I mean, he
Yeah,
must.
yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, it's like a cover charge to play with Scotty, right?
yes.
Because he only gives 8 pops to some of those
But
guys.
that's ridiculous.
Well, MT, I think it was you or somebody else here that brought it up, like based on how Scotty played or some other
was Rom.
Oh, yeah.
it was Rom.
Yeah.
Based on what he played at this past tournament, he would have been like a +15.
Yeah. So they said the first 4 months of 2023, somebody took Rom's deal and plugged it into like the course rating, and he would have been a +14.1. Oh my god! That was last spring.
Can you imagine that?
So a single digit
Harris-
handicap
Harris would get
is
like
getting
20
like almost
I would
20
play
strokes.
$100 a hole right now.
Did
Let's
you get
go.
24 strokes?
100%. Yeah.
And you know what?
I think I'm taking
Ron would probably still win.
I'd still take Ron.
I'd go down swinging. I'll tell you that.
I'm taking Rob.
I mean, think about
You'd have to give him your best
20
Happy Meal talk.
pops.
That'd be fun.
I mean, Scotty's got you got to think about that right now. Scotty's 20 or 30 rounds on PGA Tour in a row in the 60s or something.
And these are on tour courses.
Yeah.
From tour
So-
to
From tour
this isn't-
distances.
yeah.
Not playing the
Plus
combos.
12
Right.
to plus 15 right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
which is insane.
It's insane.
So when he plays those money games on a
Yeah.
off Friday,
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, 5 strokes to a scratch."
Oopsies.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Oopsies.
some of those guys. So one of the guys, apparently, he gives 8 pops to 2 of them, and they're like a 3 and a 4 handicap. Scotty should be giving him like 28 pops. Like,
Yeah.
what? How did he get away with that?
Hell of a sales guy.
Great negotiating.
Great negotiating.
Great negotiating.
Well, we the Happy Meal boys, the pops is that if you didn't get any pops, you and Roush, it wouldn't be nearly as annoying.
No, it usually takes us to hole 18.
No,
actually,
I
generally.
played.
Well, they're
them.
Michael can
I played them
attest.
2v1, no pops.
It took us to hole 18.
Well, one time. The other time I
And
Took
then I
us to hole
drained that
18.
birdie
Yeah.
putt.
Well, I can't wait to see how you perform in the Oaks Masters. I have a feeling in this annual tournament that we do
It's
at our
going to be
club,
great.
I have a feeling your team will go quite high in the bidding, which might be awkward because you're going to get asked to buy half of
Yeah,
it.
that Calcutta is going to get out.
Oh,
Who are you?
we will.
Who's
I think,
Nicky? Who
Cal-
are you playing with?
Thunder. But Calcutta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking
Calcutta,
of
Nicky,
Calcutta,
Sticky, and Thunder.
Calcutta's not with the Oaks Masters though.
No.
It's
Oh, no,
tradition.
we
well,
pick
speaking
a
of
tour player.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
tour
funny
player, yeah.
stories about old Nicky, we do have a tournament that has the old Calcutta in it,
Yeah.
and I think this was so Nick and I got paired up through friends of friends through it, and we became instant partners. It was great, and then the second time we got paired up, we were like, or no, we said we're doing this again. We got to run it back. And the Calcutta, and Nick was like, dude, don't let me drink too much. None of the brown stuff. None of the brown stuff. And we start getting to the Calcutta, and they were like, all right, the number 6 seed in flight 5.
Well, hang on. It's open bar. It's
Oh.
a big room. There's
yeah.
everybody's.
And there's an auctioneer. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah. And,
I'm
and-
going to get him to throw up a pick. I've got one.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
one of that moment.
and Nicky partners.
Or the video. It's not a video.
So they go, all right, Nick Glassnap and Colin Perry, let's go, starting at $400 or whatever. And Nick just raises his hand straight up and goes, done. And he's on the other side of the table. At this point, I didn't realize that Nick had actually gotten into the brown water after he told me he swore he wouldn't. So I thought, okay, Nicky's probably 3 sheets into the wind with some wino, or he's just totally distracted. So I'm betting on this. And I am betting us, and I didn't realize that Nick is actually betting against me, my team member.
Bidding it up.
Yeah. And so it got to about, I don't know what, $1,300 for our team, which was, reasonable. And we were like, okay.
Well, a little overrated.
So, well, it was because we had no,
Ran out of money.
Nobody else was bidding. It was just both of
Yeah,
you.
they were the ones bidding against each
So,
other.
basically, long story short, we ended up having to scrounge around some money. And so it's super awkward because we're having to scrounge around money to pay for this.
Because you have
20
to pay with
bucks.
cash.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah, we had to pay with cash, and I didn't
can't pay with
have
the
that much cash, and so
Help me, I'm poor.
and because obviously I was like, all right, I'm just having this. So Nick's got the other half, and Nick forgot to go to the ATM, whatever. We ended up getting there. Well, that was the weekend actually that Nicky and I decided to run train on our group.
Yes.
We won by like 4 strokes. Then we made it into the finals and placed 3rd. We both won after we paid everyone out. We both won like almost $1,000 cash and then like $1,000 store credit. It was the greatest.
It paid off.
Greatest like drunk.
That was the
night
year.
win
Paid off.
ever.
You could have got it for half price, but it still paid out.
That was the year you got so much shop credit.
Well,
I remember
I think-
you said said you bought all your family's Christmas presents from the Royal Oaks Golf Shop. You're like, hey, Dad, here's a box of balls. Hey,
Does your
Our
family
father-in-law got like, the limit's like $50. I was like, well, I mean, there's nothing in here really for $50. So here's a $150 pullover. Oh, I need a travel bag. Let's get a travel bag. I mean, that thing didn't run out for like 6 months. It was amazing.
the opposite happened to me and E when we played in the Oaks Masters. And the Oaks Masters is different than traditions. It's not a Calcutta. It's your score plus you bid on a tour player who's made the cut in the Masters, and his score factors into the final score
on Saturday.
And we didn't play that well on Friday.
Not so great.
And we were like, okay, if we pick the right tour player, we're in it. And I was like, let's go buy Scotty. And it was the year he won. And Evan's like, no, he's gonna be too expensive. He goes, let's go get, I forget who it was, Hung Jung Fung. He's on a run.
Yeah, I don't know who.
And he's extra cheap. Let's go get him. He's getting hot. And the kid finished like 20 over par.
Yeah.
So not only did you guys play bad, but it actually hurt your score.
We just finished
So,
DFL.
Evan, I think we need to hear your side of this story.
We did. That's exactly how it worked. I was trying to find a deal, and there was
Never
the
go
guy
for
we
the
got
deal.
was not a good deal.
It wasn't bad.
It did not
The
work.
Oaks Masters though is tough because one year my partner left and I had to pick like our players, and I remember thinking this is more stressful than the actual tournament because like what if we play good and
the kid
and I
lays
blow
an
it by
egg.
picking a bad partner.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we didn't play good, so I didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
But if we'd ponied up for Scotty, we would have had some shop cred. I would have been
There's
giving
going
my
to be a
father.
lot. There's going to be a lot of people bidding on Scotty this year.
would've-
You know.
Yeah.
He's going to be.
Yeah, he's gonna
that's
be
not
a
gonna
hot
good, That's
commodity.
not going to be a good buy.
I'll tell you who I'm bidding on. We're bidding on.
Mingwu Lee.
That old Cam Young. Cousin
Let's
Cam.
get some Cam Young. Yeah. Yeah.
Have
He
we
looks
admitted
good in
it's
green.
Cam Young yet?
No, but somebody guessed it
Somebody
in the comments.
Okay.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. So the cat's out of the bag. So Barrett's cousin is Cam.
Well, we'll get a...
PGA
Second cousin.
Tour, PGA Tour player Cameron Young. Again, Cub, don't let facts get in the way.
Cub's the only guy who gets free tickets to the Masters and then hates on the source.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Nobody's hating. I
was
just
gonna
don't
say-
want cousin Cam to be like, I'm not your first
I
cousin,
saw
I'm your
you
second."
on
Okay,
TV
first
at the
off,
Masters because of him.
I will say this: second
I
cousin.
love cousin Cam.
I love
Second,
cousin Cam.
I have
second
no
cousins-
shade to throw.
Hey, Cub.
Second cousin
not really.
kid.
Cub. Second cousins don't give trips to the Masters. That's first cousin.
It's first cousin
Don't you have
material.
a flight to Augusta in about like 2
you're
weeks?
going to Augusta with him.
Okay,
right?
sorry. Apparently, he's his first cousin.
Yeah.
I retract my
Hey,
comments.
do you think you could get cousin Cam to pitch in for a fifth microphone stand? Oh, sorry, sixth. My bad. I
Yeah. By
couldn't
the way,
count.
for
Yeah.
anybody watching right now, really just team play over here from Nicky Mikes because he's holding it himself.
I mean, I can't
We didn't
complain
have
because I'm the first.
You're on the pot.
I'm on the pod.
He does have a
and the
headset.
first-
Guess Mike.
I do have a headset.
Cousin,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Guess Mike gets to hold the mic.
Cousin Cam request.
Well, we're
after your
gonna.
flight. Yeah.
Hey, man, he got some coin, old cousin Cam. But
Yeah.
we're gonna scout him on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we'll get back to y'all
Well,
if
and
we
we'll,
pick him.
we'll talk about that closer to the Masters on that podcast, but we want more behind the scenes details because y'all got the full VIP
We're gonna really
experience last year.
We're gonna really try to pitch him on pivoting from the MLB to Hammerback. That's kind of the
Is he
the
still
goal
in
there.
Peter
He's
Millar.
Still
Well, he's on
MLB,
He's,
Peter Millar.
He's Peter Millar now, head to toe. Damn, that sucks. But he had that MLB patch.
Did you get rid of it?
No,
yeah,
it's
it was
just
sponsored by Major League
No, I think
Baseball.
he still is.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
good look.
Maybe
But-
if you put him on your website as a testimonial.
well, I don't want to get sued by the MLB. But
We don't have the attorney power for that.
No,
Yeah.
but we love cousin Cam. He's great.
we could try it. The high noon
in-house
shirt,
counsel.
the Zen.
Yeah.
Just try it. But he did say one time that as part of his deal with MLB, this is not, behind the curtains deal, but he was like, we get free tickets to every MLB game. And I was like, well, That's awesome. That's
How many do you go to?
I'm like, Rangers tickets are $4. So I'm
Not anymore. Hey, I don't know if you knew this. They won the World Series last year.
Wait, you said they went up to $10?
Okay, so they're $14.
Yeah.
No, it's also indoor and AC. That was the whole bit. That was
There's 70 of them, and they're all during the
I'm
week.
sold on AC.
well. Look, it's Cam. It's
noon.
Cam's year. He's going to have that green jacket. I'm going to ask him to cut it in the 44 long so that I can walk around in it a little bit. He might, not fit in that, but you help. You always help your second cousin out. I think when you.
Second cousin, but first cousin activities.
Yeah, all my other cousins are deadbeats.
That's a good thought, though. How come for Oaks Masters you don't get green jackets?
That's a good point.
We
Royal
actually,
Oaks.
well, and the crazy part is
Oaks
we
Masters,
actually
green
have
jackets.
a green jacket.
Awesome.
We do.
At the club right now, the real one.
The real one, yeah.
Not anymore, though.
Here's an idea.
But that would be awesome if the Royal
Hey,
Oaks
Hammerback
trophy was.
creates
Oaks
a green jacket for Oaks Masters, and we give it to the winner.
All right,
a good idea.
We
like
got to
that.
call Vicky tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Baby.
Well, we'll see what happens, but that's a month away. The Masters. You realize
Yeah,
the
we're getting
Masters
there.
is a month away.
Between the
You need to get your handicap back down before
Back
then.
up.
Back up.
Oh,
Well, up, yeah. Sorry.
The inverse
Either
down.
way, whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But
No, we were inverted.
I
It was
think
a great
mine's
move.
climbing.
between now and the Masters, Nicky, we got March Madness coming.
Ooh, we do. March Madness.
Can we talk about?
Well, hang on.
It's
Avery.
begun.
Nikki's
Yeah.
you're a women's sports aficionado.
Look at this.
Yeah, so
Caitlin Clark fan.
Not just the men's March Madness.
the
Should we take a
women's-
quick commercial break and then come back to this?
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll come
Need a
back
beat.
to Nikki's costume change in just a
His
moment.
costume change.
What is hammerback golf? What does it mean to be a scratch dresser? Hammerback golf is all about that weekend round or annual golf trip with your crew. It's looking good, feeling good on and off the course. With premium athletic fit and four-way stretch technology, Hammerback Golf elevates your game. What will you do when your money and pride are on the line? Will you fold? Or will you tee it high, let it fly, and hammer back?
All right, we're back. We're back. We're back with Nicky Podcasts. Nick, before we get into this, Nick Glasnap, our dear friend, we figured out a long time ago that Nicky plus any word works as a nickname. But the first nickname you got was Nicky Fairways
Nicky Fairway.
Yeah. it's a
because
long
you
time.
found the fairway a lot.
Well, that was an ode to Bob Does
I think that's
Sports
Bob Does
from-
Sports. Yeah.
from
I watch a
Evan.
lot of Bob Does Sports. Love those guys. That was Bobby Fairway. I think it's Bobby.
It's
Is it
Bobby
Fair-
Burger. He
Bobby
goes
Burger.
by
That's
Bobby.
a Bobby
Bobby's
Fairways.
another one. You can just say anything
Yeah.
after
Bobby-
it and just
Well, and then
Any
so
name
then-
with the Y.
with
we
the
were-
Y. Yeah.
There was just one day we were playing with Nicky. And he hit the. I don't know. You hit the fairway a lot. I don't know why it started. I was just like Nicky
Well,
Fairway.
that is his
There it
mantra.
is.
Like
Well, it
for a
is.
guy that plays with him a
Yeah.
ton, and especially in tournaments,
Nick.
it's like Nick is a fairway finder off the tee.
You have the
But,
shortest backswing of anybody,
Yeah.
but it
fair.
goes in the fairway every time.
Yeah,
It's
not very
extra
far.
annoying.
I
John
feel-
Romback.
It's
Yeah,
still-
I feel
it still
I
goes in
feel
there.
a little bit like going back to Kevin Kisner. I know we mentioned him, but I feel like him playing with like Rory with you guys. Like I'm like there's literally a Walmart between our balls.
You would take that club
And
back just maybe
I-
a little bit
so-
more than this.
But you know what? I've tried that recently. And
Hooky.
If you watch if you're watching,
yeah.
go watch the Abaco video. You'll see there's a lot of tee shots. You'll see all the swings.
Nick,
Maybe
Fairway
get some
finder.
Can I
comments.
tell
Maybe
you-
maybe we can
Yeah.
get some
a
help for
couple
you.
inches could make all the difference.
that's what they say.
That's what they say.
But then the second Nicky nickname was Nicky Sticky. And do you remember how that came
Nicky
about?
Sticky.
I
It's because
think that was a long time ago. I would go maybe Nicky Nance in a
oh,
transition.
Nicky
but
Nance because
Nicky Sticky. But I did
on our text.
yeah.
You have a play-by-play. Did anybody see that shot? By
Yeah.
Caitlin
Nicky
Clark? Oh my god!
Sticky might be one of the
Nicky
greatest
Sticky
nicknames.
Hands came because I had we made the turn and I had a fresh Johnny Walker, and I was so excited about it. And then Nick says, "Hey man, can I have a drink of that?" And I said, "Get you some." And I turned around and it was a fourth full. You drank almost the entire thing. It was like
Hands are back.
Yeah. I got big hands, and sometimes when you
and we started
it's
calling
kinda
him
heavy.
Nicky Sticky Hands. But yeah, Nicky. The name Nicky sort of works. But now you're Nicky Pods,
Nicky
I feel
Pod.
good.
Nicky
I feel
Pods.
good, yeah.
And you're a March Madness guy.
Big March Madness
You're a
guy.
big basketball guy.
I'm a
Big basketball.
big
Well, you're
basketball
a
guy.
rock chalk Jayhawk.
Yeah, can I show you something?
Yeah.
Let's show.
Like, I'm older than you guys, and so I got this jacket because I don't know if you guys remember starter jackets.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody. I had a Dallas Cowboys
Yeah,
starter
starter.
jacket.
Yeah, I started my senior
Look at
year.
this thing is pretty retro. I mean, everything retro is coming back, right?
Yeah. It all circles
no,
back.
retro's the big move.
Look at this. You know,
Wow.
I got this, and I'm pretty
How
excited.
old is that thing?
Hold it up. Let the
No,
viewers
Throw it on.
Well,
Yeah, just put it on. Go ahead and put it on.
All right.
It's okay.
We got time.
It's brand new.
Yeah. Oh, it's a new. Oh, okay.
It's a brand new throwback.
I don't
brand new
know if you
throwback.
remember this. I just
Yeah.
bought it on Amazon.
So did you just become a KU fan? Is that you bought this thing and
No, so
How did you become a KU fan?
great question. So I grew up in Missouri.
Missouri?
With my mother and stepfather. However, my father lived in Lawrence, Kansas, which I don't know if you guys know. It's the home of basketball.
Heard of it.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Allen Fieldhouse.
Allen Fieldhouse, home of basketball.
That was
One
where
time,
the
James-
Wizard of Oz was filmed, or
I'm not sure about that. I didn't see him play basketball there.
What a
All right,
stupid
somebody,
Yeah.
somebody cut
John Wood.
hey, we're not in Kansas
Yeah.
anymore. All right,
But-
go ahead.
So when my father lived there, I grew up going to KU games like 9, 10 years old. Like back, I mean, we're talking Adonis Jordan, Jacques Vaughn. You got guys like that. Probably never heard of them.
But at the field house.
At the field house. So I grew up going to KU, and then in high school, I was down to go. I was going to go to KU just to go to school or play football at a Division II school, and I decided to play football because I wasn't good enough.
You
to
didn't
go.
get an offer from KU.
KU didn't
No,
bring it?
they actually were okay then.
Was
They're
that the
not as good as they
Mangino-
are
was that
now.
the Mangino years?
No, it was before that.
You told me a funny story about Mangino the other day.
Did I?
Yeah. Was it about the shower that he had in his contract?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember. Did I?
Did you tell me that?
No, I know
No,
the
I was
story.
there with it. That he
It's not-
basically was so large and he couldn't wash himself very well, and so part of the contract was that he had to have a shower in his office because
To clean himself.
Anytime he sweated or actually shit himself,
Ooh.
he had
There was
to.
probably a
that's
walk-on that
disgusting.
probably had to clean him. That would have been me. So that's
would
why.
have been you.
Yeah.
That's why you passed.
Yeah, so I grew up a Kansas fan. This year's been a bit of a struggle. So you know what I've kind of adopted? Let me show you this.
Kind of adopted.
Nicky costumes.
Yeah, here you go.
So
Nicky brought props.
He did big
Nicky
pop.
props.
Nicky props. on the pod.
so
Caitlin
everybody-
Clark. Huh?
Yeah,
Sure,
you're a
girl.
big
It's
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Caitlin Clark.
And just so everybody knows, on the group text thread, Nikki's always texting about it, and everybody on the text thread's like, "Okay, we've
had enough.
We've had enough of the women's basketball chat. Let's move on to something else."
Well, but it's more
fair.
than that. I've sat and when I went to TCU, MT went to TCU, OSU, and whenever any of our schools, Baylor, whenever they play Kansas, you are passionate about Kansas.
I'm a very passionate person.
passionate.
Yeah.
And
is true.
I know it's easy to dump on their football program, but a couple years ago, I think it was a year and a half ago, you had that Scooby Doo quarterback who turned up with that goofy haircut.
Oh,
Remember that?
we had to use him again last year.
What was his name?
Bean.
Bean.
Jason Bean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to put I have a video of you
Scooby Doo
melting down because Bean had somehow thrown an interception, and it was a close game against TCU,
That was a tough loss.
but it wasn't a blowout, and we all kind of thought it would be because Kansas football, or whatever. But Kansas football's back.
So, little fun fact. This is March, and usually every year I'm so amped up about the tournament. And this is the first March as a KU fan where I'm actually more excited about football.
Really? Are you?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but Kansas basketball, so very spoiled, taking it on the chin a little bit. So Bill Self, who I think arguably is the best college basketball coach currently.
One of them, yeah. Oh, currently, for sure.
And I think he'll go down
Dean
top 5
Smith.
all
Yeah.
time. But,
Yeah.
again, my opinion, he So when KU loses, hopefully not to Samford, and we'll get into some picks, but it'll be the first time in 21 years where he'll have 11 losses, or double-digit losses, I guess I should say.
Well, but Kansas is a dynasty in men's basketball. You're a women's basketball fan, so UConn or Caitlin Clark?
I'm just a Caitlin Clark, and if you can't appreciate
It's pretty great.
her greatness,
Her greatness. Now, is that does she get to use initials for her greatness? Her Highness?
she should. And
her excellency.
Her Dynasty.
I heard something on the ticket.
Whatever it was.
I heard something on the ticket the other day, and it was very smart. So I don't know if I sent you guys, but the Big Ten championship that she recently played in had the same ratings that Duke, North Carolina did.
I saw that.
Which is pretty impressive. The ticket said ESPN should have paid her whatever she wanted, like $2-3 million to come back to school.
What is she getting paid? Do they
Not that.
does she get NIL? Does she?
A little bit, but she's going to go to the WNBA and not make
And
anything.
I was going to say, what did you make there?
Well,
I don't know.
she's
50,000?
probably
Yeah.
going to command at least a $16,000 signing.
But that's what they said. I mean, if ESPN would have said, we'll pay you. I mean, if you're getting the same ratings as Duke, North Carolina.
Yeah.
No, she's going to get a hell of a deal from
She should just go.
Scrunchies.
She should go to the NBA.
That's right.
And that's what I get frustrated with you guys, because you go down this path. Could she play in the NBA? That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying you're
I
saying
want
that.
some Nicky stats real quick because I honestly am in line with Nick on the fact that she, from a women's basketball in her own league, is just an absolute anomaly. Give us some stats on
That's not a hot take. I mean,
Well, according to Jay Williams, he says she's not great.
really?
Well, that's because he's just trying to get impressions.
Well,
on his
she's literally the
greatest women's basketball player of all time.
or at least she's in college, so she will be it. Like,
Well, actually, now
when
she's
she graduates,
you could make
All
the
time.
argument she might be the greatest NCAA player of all time. She's the highest
the
scorer.
highest scorer.
Highest score.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
she carried her team last year to the national championship. Like she's almost averaging like a triple double. But I will say that stat wise, they actually charted Pete Maravich's. He had a coach that charted all of his shots. I'm shaking, sorry, because
you're so
I'm so passionate. That Pete Maravich would have averaged like 58 a game
Because they didn't have a three-point
because they didn't have a
line
3-point
when he
line. So
played. Yeah.
that's you got to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Do you remember this conversation we had a couple weeks ago? I think we were just in the 19th hole, and we were talking about if you took the average LPGA pro, one of the middle of the pack, and you put him or put her up against like a men's whatever 0 handicap MT, who would win? And it was kind of like in question, but then the debate was like, well, what tees does she play from?
No, I would get.
I think you would get worked.
Yeah. So.
Is it Nelly
You're in
Korda?
that category.
Well, so I mean,
He's better than
I'll
that.
play it Yeah, I mean, I'll play it like a +2.
But if you took the
like
average,
a +2 men, and I will get dusted.
but I'm not talking about Annika Sorensen or any of the sort of top, but like the middle of the pack LPGA. I think those women would beat the hell out of the average male
there's
golfer.
kind of an interesting story about me at that happening. I played against one of my buddies. Actually, we went to college with him. His boss's daughter was playing at Oklahoma. She was an OU. She was like one of the better players on OU's golf team. She wasn't even a pro golfer. And we played Pecan Hollow. At the time, I would think I was like a +1.5 or something. And I was playing pretty good. And she and I played the same tees. We played the tips at Pecan Hollow. And we played, and I was like, I'm going to smoke this broad. Like, she has no chance.
Yeah.
Dude, she could drive it probably 265, 270.
Jeez.
But
Further than Colin.
But
And me for sure.
Got it.
okay, for the viewers, Colin hits it farther than that. But
sometimes
so
no.
I will say this. She shot like a 67 or 66.
Oh my
God.
And so the course is like 6,800 yards or something, which is pretty long for ladies' course. I played with pro golfers. I played with pro men, whatever. I've never seen anyone that dialed from like 60 to 120. Like it was.
Was there money on this match?
Yeah, no, I got smoked.
That's why she was
destroyed.
dialed.
I mean, it was unbelievable how good. Like, and by the way, she was explaining. I was like, "So are you like?" And I even asked. I was like, "Are you like the best women's collegiate player?" And she was like, "No, I mean like I'm number 2 at OU or whatever it was." They were. I mean, it's a different level from like wedges. Like that's how they're so.
It's
good.
the short game.
Yes, they're just incredibly.
But
good.
I think if the Dallas, I don't even know what our WNBA team is.
If they
drafted, I'd go to games. For sure.
I might get season tickets. Okay, maybe that's a little too far. But hey, I got 2 daughters. You know, she's
$4 a ticket.
She's going to be a great role model for my daughters.
That's good.
You know what?
Girl dad.
I can't aspire my daughters to aspire to be LeBron, right? Let's be honest. Like
It's unlikely.
it's unlikely. But Caitlin Clark,
Yeah.
maybe.
You remember when they had I don't know if this is still a thing, but a couple of years ago they had the lingerie football league. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. I think they
was
still
like
have it.
It was like pro powder puff.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
think that's
Yeah,
still.
I don't want my daughters to aspire to be those players.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is, if you'd go support that. But if Caitlin Clark came to Dallas, I don't even know what our team is. Whatever.
Sparks?
The
The Magic,
Liberty.
The Spirit.
I have no
Sparks.
idea.
Who's the Sparks?
But I'd go watch that.
Is it?
I'm very curious to see what her professional contract is.
Yeah, she probably should stay in college because NIL. But I mean, but let's talk a little bit about some picks.
Well, so the tournament's coming up. MT and I are very giddy because TCU made the tournament after losing to.
3 years in a row though.
We
Yeah,
fired
3
our,
years.
We fired our coach. We're going to get a new coach. Thank goodness.
Did you make the tournament?
No.
Then you're-
That's why we
then-
fired our
then-
coach.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
E-Money cares
you
a
need to hire
lot
Will
about
Wade.
basketball.
Yeah, I'm out. I couldn't tell you a single thing.
Aggies, A&M.
Dim Ags made the
They-
tourney.
hey, I was there.
You did not.
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
Oh, they're
We
good.
waxed Kentucky.
I was,
Oh,
I
good
was
for
actually
you.
I was
Boy.
there on Friday night. I watched it go down,
I
and
think
it was
A&M's a
quite
good
Oh,
impressive.
you went to that game?
Yeah.
I was at that game. Yeah.
Well, Okie State, more known for the golf program than any
Oh,
other
Gundy.
sport,
Gundy
really.
ball.
Yeah, Gundy ball. But TCU made the
basketball.
tournament. Baylor made the tournament. Aggies made the tournament.
Baylor's
And
a hot
Kansas,
take.
of course, made it. We're matched up in the first round
Utah
against
State.
Utah State, which actually is a
Yeah.
pretty good program.
No, I got a 49% faith we'll make it to the round of 32.
So then, but if we make it, then we play Purdue.
Yeah, no,
and it's
so-
like
You could
good-
beat.
good night.
I think Purdue's overrated. I know, hot take, but they've lost in the first round. I think it's 3 years in a row.
Nick, can I make
Have they
Can
really?
I make a comment about Kansas' seeding though? Didn't y'all get a 4 seed?
It's because they're non-conference, and they lost. It's
You were 23-9, right?
well. So did you?
You got a 4 seed.
Did you see
That's branding.
this year? No. So this year, there's so much parity after the top 3 or 4 seeds that it's the first time I've seen that like an eighth ranked team has like 8 losses. That's never happened. Usually it's like 4 or 5. So, do you guys know what the Ken Palm ratings are?
Yes.
no.
Okay.
Explain that, please.
Basically, they rank offense and defense like through stats, like points per game, assists, stops. Go ahead.
The college basketball version of like strokes gained putting,
Oh,
and
yeah.
strokes
Good
gained
job.
off the
Yeah,
tee.
thank
This
you.
is like
It would
hyper
be-
stats.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would be like the advanced metrics.
Yeah, so if you're going to pick some teams, you got to pick a team that's ranked offense and defensively in the top 20. And you'll, more often than not.
All right, so who is that?
So,
Give me the team.
well, I'm going, I was going to ride Houston all the way. I'm a little concerned after what happened with, I know, with
waxed.
Iowa State. But I'm
was
going,
awful.
I'm going Houston, UConn national championship.
Really?
Okay.
You're
And
on Houston after that.
And I'm-
Bloodbath.
Hey, you know what?
Houston's a good team.
What was A&M seeding?
They are, but
They're an 8 or
8.
9.
We're an 8 or 9 Yeah, we're playing Nebraska 8 or 9, then we played the number 1.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Then it's Houston, UConn,
And I'm gonna take Houston cutting down the nets.
Yep.
I'm gonna say
Wow.
Well, that's because they are Houston.
They're
is
dogs, man.
so
They are some
far and
dogs.
away the best defensive team.
100%.
Yeah, except
And we all know
against
that
Iowa
defense wins
State.
championships,
and
right?
and guard play. They've got some guys that can break.
Okay, did we all watch the same Big 12 championship?
It's one game, bro.
And they've played
it
Iowa.
was one time.
They played Iowa State. That's the third time. It's tough. It's tough.
You know what?
You know.
You know what's sort of funny about this?
it wasn't even
Evan,
close.
are we boring you?
I'm looking up the bracket here.
Okay. About
Got a
4
bracket.
years
Give it to
ago,
BJ.
about 4 years ago, there was a guy at Royal Oaks.
Like Houston and A&M
Who-
face each other.
Yep.
I have the mic at the moment, but about 4 years ago, there was a guy at Royal Oaks who was filling out a bracket. It was like from all the way in, but it wasn't the names of the schools; it was their logos. It was like the bear, the horned frog, whatever. And he's filling out his bracket. I don't remember who it was at Royal Oaks, but he's sitting at the dining room table and he's doing this. And his daughter, his like 7-year-old daughter comes up and she's like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm picking my teams to, put in the bracket for my company pool or whatever." And she goes, "Can I do that?" And he goes, "Yeah." So he prints off another one and she goes through and she circles all of her teams. You just put a circle around who wins. And she gets like 98% right in the first round. And he's like, "What the hell?" So he comes back the second round. He's like, "Do that again." And she gets like,
Do that again.
dude, she gets like 95% right in the second round. He's like, "Okay, honey, she's 7 years old." He goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I just circled the school whose logo is an animal. Like if it's the Bears versus the Patriots, I'm circling the Bears." But that's how nobody knows. It's just
Nobody
it's
knows.
a 7-year-old can pick these things because
What is the
nobody knows.
statistic to get the entire
They've
bracket
never- it's
right?
never been done.
It would be,
Never been
it
done.
would
It's
be
one in a billion, or what is it?
60-17 parlay. It's impossible.
Well, one
That's what
time,
I mean,
do you
like-
remember there was one time
Warren Buffett.
Well, a couple years in a row, right?
Buffett
Yeah.
used to offer
he did it
it.
3 years in a row.
Buffett was like, if you get a perfect bracket, I will give you $1 billion in cash. He put it out to every
Yeah.
Berkshire Hathaway employee,
many
which
can
is
you
like
Can't hide money.
Yeah.
thousands of people all through Berkshire's portfolio.
I love it.
I'll give you $1 billion cash. And apparently, one year somebody got pretty close because the next year he was like, "Okay, I'll give you $1 million in cash."
A lot of upsets this
by
year
the way,
too.
yeah.
A lot of
think
upsets.
you think about Buffett, and he's like, "Oh yeah." I just like to imagine he's out at the local Omaha bar, just getting drunk with his buddies and talking smack, and he's like, "Yeah, you'll get a perfect. Yeah, I'll give you $1 billion.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
get a perfect."
He's
bracket."
like, it's like the Final Four, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And the guy misses by one. He goes, "Okay,
Calls the
next year
refs,
it's $1
"Okay,
million."
tank it.
Thank you. So you got UConn and Houston.
What other picks you got?
"Who's your Final Four?"
Nicky Madness. Let's hear
So
your pick.
again,
Baylor.
I don't know if you filled out a bracket.
I
It
haven't
just
yet.
Came out.
It just came out, and again, the Kansas thing, being down a little bit. You know what team I really liked, but
Baylor.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
But they looked
Dim Ags
terrible
beat 'em.
in the SEC tournament. I love that Dalton Next story. Fun fact. That guy was the SEC Player of the Year. Do you know he was second team All Big Sky at Northern Colorado last year? Like, how's Barnes find that guy? Like, second team All Big Sky to SEC Player of the Year.
So,
that's pretty
Nick,
impressive.
It's
John.
impressive.
I
That's
want to ask you
huge.
because I think you're going to see more parity, like in college football, with the 12-team playoff and with the transfer portal. And
And
all that.
yeah.
So you're saying this year there's more losses, right? Like amongst top
Yes,
teams.
yes.
Do you think like transfer portal is
It's gonna
leveling
yeah.
the
So
playing field?
Yep. So as a Kansas fan, one of my favorite players of all time is Frank Mason. I don't know if you guys know him, but Frank Mason was a 4-year player committed
Frank.
to Towson, and then the coach left, and then he came to Kansas. Ended up being the National Player of the Year his senior year. There won't be another Frank Mason at KU because these freshmen that aren't playing, they don't want to put in the time. They'll go to the transfer portal. They're looking for NIL. I mean, look what Saban,
Yeah.
told Congress the other day.
Yeah.
So
But this to bring this sort of around to golf just for a moment. This is a golf podcast.
yeah,
We have the FedEx. They have the FedEx Cup, as a playoff. But the number 1 seeded player starts in the final tournament at whatever it is.
Minus 10.
10 under.
10 under.
The
Yeah.
net
It's such a weird.
Okay, is that reasonable? I'm not.
I think it's kind of weird.
Well,
I get it.
I don't know how
It'd
you
be like having an Olympic
Well, I get it,
40-yard dash and
Right,
someone
just
starting
about-
20
how do you
yards
put
ahead.
that like
the-
It's not really fair.
But it would be like if let's
You're
just say
starting 10 strokes down.
Oh, Houston
Houston
gets
and-
like they start up like 10-0.
they start 10 up, right?
Yeah, that's not fair.
I'm not sure that's
No,
fair.
I don't-
And I
yeah.
get it. Like the FedEx Cup points have to count for something. They're building it to this, but I'm like, dude, I'm just not sure. Love Scotty, but you give Scotty a 10-stroke lead.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that
last
fair?
year he
Last
busted.
year.
Well, I mean,
He
it
didn't win it last
work
year with the 10.
last year.
But he didn't
you
you
say
win
he
the year before?
busted?
No, well, Rory beat
Last
him
year,
Rory
he had a
came back,
10-stroke lead, and he
that was
totally.
Well, he
2
didn't have a
years ago.
10-stroke lead over Rory. I think Rory was
Well,
No, not over Rory,
it's a
but-
waterfall,
Yeah, it's a
right? It's like 10,
Yeah.
8,
10,
whatever
8,
it is.
7, 6.
But one year, Dustin Johnson started 10 over, and he finished pretty damn well
Scotty-
10 over, and it was like, okay, that's exciting. Don't you think maybe it's just me. If I'm Jay Monahan, I'm like, hey, man, you build up points and you get to a standing, but then everybody starts
Yeah, but
even.
think about this though. Like that's the thing about the whole Olympics that I don't get. Like the Olympic golf, it's one tournament, and like you can become Olympic, gold medalist, silver medalist, and bronze, and you're like, that doesn't mean anything to these guys because they're like, it's one tournament. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean
Yeah.
like it's a whole season.
Yeah, you have a big
like
week.
to MT's point, like it's hard to come up with a system that actually makes sense and.
Well, because
Well,
And it just
and
changes.
the basketball thing
changes
is
too much week by week.
You can get hot and win 6 games. If you look traditionally, not the best team doesn't always win.
No.
Like in college basketball, because if they've played 32 games and you look at like over 32 games, that might be the best team. They don't always win, but they don't have that advantage to your point of like I'm
Well,
going to get a 10.
and there's
12
always a
points.
team. Who's the team in Florida?
Florida Atlantic.
No,
Atlantic.
It starts with a V.
Gulf Coast.
No.
Valdosta State.
That's in Alabama.
Close. They're right by.
No, Georgia. Sorry.
Doesn't matter. Whatever the team is.
Oh,
it's
Villanova, but that's not in.
not Villanova. It's good grief.
Okay.
I'll have to we'll put the word
All
up.
right, we'll
Okay.
edit this later.
Anyway,
Don't put it up.
they're a dark horse. They went extra deep a couple years ago, and then it was like, well, nobody counted on that. But it's also because it's a fair tournament. The March Madness it's total level pegging, right? You got Kansas versus whoever it is, and if they win, Kansas out. It doesn't.
Yep.
Well, then
Gotta
let
win,
me ask this on the FedEx Cup final 30 guys, right? What if you had the top 12 or what? And I don't know how the bracket would break down. They get a first round bye, and you do match play for that final event.
I'd be
kinda
down.
like that.
I'd be down to
I
watch
actually
that.
really like
I'd
that.
be down to watch
play.
that.
Now, here's an
Yeah.
Like if
idea.
you're if you're the top 8, right? Or I don't know how that bracket would break down, but the point is,
That-
these guys get a first round bye, and then you just seed them.
Can you imagine that atmosphere?
Do you think
similar
Scott?
to
Do you
like
think
a
they give
Ryder
up?
Cup?
Do they give up pops? Is it a
No,
handicap?
no. But it'd be
No,
just
but that
like
would be
March
great, though.
Madness. I mean, like what we had. Chicago Loyola or whatever, all those teams, like random teams, 10, 11 will make the Final Four.
There was a team on the
There's
bracket I've never seen before.
Yeah, well, there's never been a Final Four with all one seeds, right?
That's not
Were you
true.
thinking of VCU?
It's
Barrett?
been one time in 2008. I was there.
Long
Who
Beach
was it?
State.
Well, Kansas,
Long
North
Beach
Carolina,
Yeah.
Memphis, and who'd Memphis? Dang it. Because Kansas beat
So a bunch of blue teams.
Memphis in overtime to win.
But it was
all.
a bunch of
And I was
one
there.
seeds.
But that never happened. So the point
The one
is,
time.
you could do
Yeah.
the FedEx Cup playoffs be a match play at Eastlake, and it's likely not
love
going to be
that
the top
idea.
seeds. But
That would be
realistically,
so
the
good.
NCAA
I like
tournament's
that,
never
MT.
really top
I do too.
seeds. I just
MT
don't
for
know-
Prez.
I just don't know how else you make it work, right? Golf's not
Because I think we all
Same.
agree that the starting at 10 strokes advantage again,
Dude,
it's just kind of
not
BS.
great.
Yeah.
It sucks. I'd like to start at the 10-stroke advantage on the Happy Meal boys.
Well, I do that every day.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I give
Mr. Pops.
I mean,
I
great.
will say, has anybody ever? Y'all know Club Pro Guy, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
When DJ won that first deal and he got the 10-stroke advantage, he wrote that hilarious note talking to Dustin Johnson about how he won his club champions net championship as well that year. And it's just
Yeah.
hilarious. 'Cause he made the joke, and it's a good point. It's like, it's kind of a net tournament. It's not even gross. Like he's getting strokes, right, against everybody else.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen in a PGA event.
No.
Well, you heard it here first. You got UConn and Houston in the final from Nicky Buckets, a reliable source. Far more.
Well, way more reliable than us five.
I don't even know.
well,
Look up those Ken Palm
Probably be
adjusted
popular,
ratings
but,
too.
yeah.
If you want to pick he adjusts the ratings based on the tournament too. So
Yeah.
Ken
All right.
Palm.
Okay.
Last little bit here, Nicky. What is your what's your shot of the day? What's the best golf shot you ever hit? Where was it? Give me the conditions.
So I have 2 hole-in-ones. So
You
how
do
I,
not.
I do.
Two?
I didn't even know
Two.
I do.
Yeah.
The best might have been with my father because.
Well,
Sorry,
where was
Dad.
it?
He's kind of an asshole.
Where was it?
Lawrence Country.
Did you have a witness to both?
No, so Lawrence Country Club. I think I was I'm trying to remember how old I was. Out of college, because that's when I started playing golf. But it was 148, and I hit a shot, and the pin was blocked. I hit the hill, and it spun back, but the pin was blocking.
So you didn't know it went in?
No, but I was like, I think that sumbitch went in. I'm sorry. The SOB went in.
sorry.
And my dad's like, get out of here, get out of here. And I'm like, no, come on, let's go. Let's get in the car. And my dad drove so slow. Oh, I love it. I bet it took.
You got to get out and run.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sure enough, it went in.
That was your first hole-in-one?
It was, yeah.
What's your second one?
So I was living in San Jose at the time, and we played one of the courses out there, and I think it was like 172, and I kind of bladed it, to be honest.
Maybe a little short backswinger.
Yeah, a little short backswinger.
Yeah.
But it hit, and it rolled and we saw it go in. And at the time, I was working for a med device company. I'm not going to name any names because there's a lot of people still there. But
They're not watching.
Yeah. No,
Don't worry about it.
But my VP of sales put the corporate card down and spent a lot of money that day. So thank you for that.
You got after it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's nice.
Yeah, so you didn't have to pay for the drinks.
No,
We've
not
played
like you, yeah.
we've played golf with Nick for God knows how
I
many
didn't
years.
know you-
I had no idea you had 2 hole-in-ones.
Yeah.
Well,
You've
pretty
had
humble.
2 hole-in-ones.
I've had
I'm
2.
pretty humble.
Yeah.
You've
Those
had
are
2.
awesome.
I was
Yeah.
there for one of them. I missed the first one.
The first one was at Ocean Reef, yeah.
Yep.
Just
And
me
the second
Jack.
one was at Royal Oaks.
Yeah.
The second one was
And a
pretty
We lived
hammerback.
that.
The second one was in a hammerback.
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
Have
This
you had
hat-
any
This
aces?
is the hat.
Been close, but
Did
had a
you
lot
have
of-
some ace attempts?
I was just going to say that.
Ace attempt.
Ace attempts.
He's
I've a lot
had
of
many
those.
ace
Yeah.
attempts. Have you had aces?
Yeah, I've had 8. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I couldn't believe that. Actually, I was like,
I've had 1.
8.
I've had 1.
What
Where
was
was it?
What was yours?
Number 2 at River Hill Country Club in Kerrville.
Wow.
Old Kerrville.
Little 5 iron.
Kerrville.
Little 5 iron.
Well, Cubs had one.
was Johnny
We-
football
I've had
there?
one.
You have had one.
We've
I've
done.
had-
We've
I've had-
I was going to say,
documented
your
it.
first
Might
one
have
maybe
been
with
like
that putter
My
off the
one
green.
was a
Hold on.
great.
His only one.
Only one.
My only one, but there was a hammer before I hit. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was on Money Alley.
And I didn't accept the hammer. My partner did. I was ready to turn it down. What-ching?
Cubby made some money that day
We made some money.
with a 92 was the final score.
I think it's more like 91, but yeah.
Hey man, you
Look,
turned it
hey.
in.
By the way, 91 with an eagle. Good job.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You're the odd man out, Sea Dog.
I know.
We're just
My bad.
waiting on
We'll
yours.
We'll get you there.
Hey, we'll get you there, bud.
All right. Well, Nicky Pods, thanks, brother.
Hey, well, no, thank you.
We love
thank
you.
you,
Coming
boys. I
on.
love
Nicky
you guys.
Sticky.
You know that. Thanks to the fans, Hammerback. Check out the website. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
That was really well
Good
done.
plug. Good
and
plug.
with that, I think
All
we're
right.
done.
All right.
Cheers,
That's
boys.
it.
Cheers, boys.
Love you.
Flush.